How you doing, guys? I'm Sean. Welcome to Rambles with my camera. Guys, today's video, this is part of a series of videos that I'm making. The story behind my photographs, and this photograph here. I think it's a good photograph, and I think it's a good photograph because it's captured a slice of time in Irish history and world history, I suppose. And it was taken in West Belfast, probably around about the mid '90s, probably '95, maybe '96. And it was taken in an area in West Belfast called Beachmount. Now this photograph here, what you're looking at, is it was taken just after a raid with British soldiers. And I came across the photograph, just reduce this window down here. It was a place called bottom of Oakman Street. Let me see which one will open up. Yeah, okay, so basically I walked down the bottom of Oakman Street and I seen a foot patrol. Now this is quite unusual in this context because the soldiers there, obviously, although they're carrying, I think they're SA-80 rifles, but they used to have helmets on. But obviously, the peace process was starting to kick in, and they were starting to wear soft hats. They weren't wearing their normal military gear. So therefore, I stopped and I asked if it was okay to take some photographs, and they had no problem with it. This guy here, I think he was possibly in charge of them there. And I asked him, and he said, "Look, not a problem. If the man was okay, you can take a photograph." So I was taking some photographs of them and standing there. And in the distance, there was a load of kids. Let's see, you can just see them over there, just behind that lamppost there. Let's see if we can bring it up. The quality of scans, these are shot on film, and they're being rescanned, so they're quite. The quality of it's not great at all, But basically, the guys are, standing in the background there. Let's get another photograph, maybe get a wee bit closer to it. So that's the kids there in the distance, and the soldiers are waiting in an alleyway. And obviously, they're going to have to go past them. And I'm standing there taking a photograph. And of course, the guy in charge says, "Okay, let's go." And they started walking down. And right away, a blind man could see that they were going to be stoned, going to be bricked, as we would say in Belfast. So they started walking down, and they went along. Let's see, just have a wee look here to see if I can find. There's another shot of the wall, yeah. So in this photograph here, you can see to the left, if you look over here to the left, the soldiers, there's this long brick wall here going down, and obviously the soldiers are going to have to go down this way here. You've got the kids on the right hand side with a load of bricks, and it's like, you can see all the bricks there on the ground, and they're being stoned as they were going past. And they're only kids, like, in reality, and they're product, and we were all products of the environment that we grew up in. So in reality, and so was the soldiers, by the way. So the soldiers, you can start to see, start to run on now, and they're going to be going around the corner down here on the right hand side. So I'm surprised none of them got hit. Maybe they did get hit. I certainly didn't see any of them getting hit at this stage. I don't know if that was down to the kids being bad shots or the guys super fast at running. And so I started going down along the wall with them. And then I realised, and I said to myself, hold on a second. They've got paddings and things like that on. All I had was a t-shirt on and my camera. So I got down a wee bit, and you can see the kids in the background there. And the soldiers sitting looking. You can almost feel the fear of what's happening, because at the end of the day, guys, there's large bricks there, there's stones, there may have been battles. But that the soldier had to go past that thing. And it was, let's see if we get a shot in now. So as I say, they went down the bottom of this street down here. And they went round this corner on the right hand side, and the kids started following them. I then joined behind the kids because they obviously, it doesn't take a brains of an archbishop that you don't want to get between kids with stones and those that are throwing at. So I was behind them with a camera. I was shooting the Canon F1N. More than likely I had my 35mm lens on, and more than likely, I haven't checked the negative, I think it's HP5. Normally I was always shooting about HP5, so let me have a look and see then. So let's see, we're looking around. Yeah, so they continued on chasing the soldiers, and these are slightly older kids, but they're still only 10 or 12. Now, I've shared these photographs on my Facebook page, and a lot of kids who were involved in it, who only wee kids in at that stage, and as I say, it was around about 1995, maybe 1996, but I don't think it was any later than that. And these kids are now adults, so of course they're seeing themselves in a situation. I used to rap myself, by the way, when I was a kid. That's the thing we all did, well, most of us did anyway, growing up in that environment. So basically, there's no malice in them, although they're throwing stones and there's things like that. But we were all products of our environment that we grew up in. On both sides of the divide, the community between the Catholics and the Protestants, Loyalist Republicans, we're all, even the soldiers and the British and the Irish, we're all a product of the environment that we're growing up in and the information that we're given. And obviously, I'm sure it's like everything else. I can certainly speak for myself. If I look back at my past, there'd be things that, you know, if I knew the things I knew now, would I be doing them things? Well, I would never change anything in my past because I think it has a positive knock-on effect and could have a negative knock-on effect if you change something from your past. I did what I did and I'll stand over it. And I'm sure them kids would find the same. But I think this is a part of history, and this is why I'm starting to like these photographs, that, you know, I'm capturing something that, you know, not many got to see. Most people only got to see it through the newspaper coverage and the media coverage. And although I was a freelance photographer, press photographer at that time also, the media giants is no different from they are now. They choose carefully what to portray and what to put out. We're all propaganda, I suppose. And this kid here, he's thrown a stone, obviously, over the photograph speaks for itself. You can see the same soldiers in the distance there. And he's thrown a stone over the top of the family there. Obviously, none of the woman and the kids were hit with stones, I can assure you that. I really don't think any of the soldiers were hit anyway. But they're now starting to loop around and coming back out of the estate where this whole thing started. And basically this photograph is all about. This is exactly afterwards. I think it lasted for about maybe 12 minutes, maybe 15 minutes max. Probably even less, probably about 12 minutes. And to the right there, just behind that young lad, okay, put this down, is that mural there. Okay, so that gives you a bit of an idea. This is where they came out of. And this here is where the rat stopped. So they actually went around a complete circle. And they went back out that alleyway. In fact, my apologies, they didn't. They went out that alleyway there. This is Oakman Street, and they went up this alley here. And the kids say, this is them moments afterwards. I fired off possibly about 10 photographs. And I think how happy they are, because the way they seen it in their minds at that time, that they were actually, you know, chasing the enemy out, chasing the soldiers with their guns out. All they had was stones and their kids. I think when you look through the photographs, how young they are. Obviously, these lads in the background are still only, you know, young kids, like they're only about 10 or 12, I'm sure, if even that. But these kids here are clearly young. They're all under 10 years of age. Even a wee girl there, I don't know what she's holding there, like a wee piece of wood or something. But I think it's a jubilance inside their faces there, that as if they have achieved something, because they are like, you know, they would have seen people around them that there was a war going on, trying to get the British government control over Ireland, getting them out of Northern Ireland, and they're believing at that moment in time they have contributed to that. And I just think it's a happy photograph, but it's also a sad photograph. But it is what it is. It's photojournalism. It's captured a slice of time of Irish history. So for that, I really like it. And I've said I've been in contact with so many of the kids there in that, who are now grown men, and I'm sure grown women. I haven't contacted the lady there. I'm sure she's a woman now. We're talking that 95, what is that, nearly 20 odd years ago. So basically she'd certainly be in her 20s. And I think that's the photograph. So that is the story behind this photograph. And I think we can all look back in our past. And I think that's why it's so important about photography. That when you're taking photographs, we think it's just for this moment in time. But in reality, we're not. We're looking, you know, we're capturing the present so those in the future can look back at the past. And I don't know where all of these people, what happened to the soldiers? Did they get through their tour of duty okay? Did any of them lose their lives or what? They'll also have got older. They'll also be reflecting on their past. And I'm just thinking that it's good in one way, but it's also sad in another, that I've got to witness that in my lifetime. But there's going to be people, thankfully, because the peace process is never going to be able to experience that again, because there's a peace now here in the country. It's still a way to go, and I don't think anybody should be getting complacent. But the fact of the matter is that thankfully, them days are gone, and we've all grown from it, from that life's experience. A lot of people affected physically and mentally. Certainly I was on both accounts. But I say that I think it's a part about photography, guys, that we should be taking photographs, not just for this moment in time, but as I say, we're capturing the present so those in the future can look back at the past. I want to thank you for watching this video and me sharing you this glimpse of my past. And I think all in all that I just think I have got mixed emotions about it, because I'd say to myself that I see the innocence of them. I can see that the fact that, they were only doing what they were seen to be around them, that they were doing. You can see up in the top left-hand corner, the IRA, the Irish Republican Army, and then you look elsewhere. But I do think that we've all, who lived through that, or any war situation, I think the children are the real victims of it all, because their lives have been fucked up in a certain extent that, they shouldn't have to be witnessing that. They shouldn't have to be taking part in that because of the circumstances. But anyway, I've got mixed emotions about the photograph. I think it's a cracker photograph. Cracker in Belfast means a good photograph. I think it's a cracker photograph because I've captured a slice of time. But it's also sad to see that, how happy they were. And I would have been years ago when I was a kid rapping, and not realising, the futility of it all. But there you go, guys. That's the story behind this photograph. If you haven't seen the other photographs, the story behind the photographs, check the links up above there. Have we looked through them? I'm going to be adding more and more. And there you go. That's it for the day. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe. You can check me out on Twitter and on Facebook, and also rambleswithmycamera.com, and check out the Flickr page. And that's it. That's another ramble over. It's another story behind several stories, behind a photograph or several photographs. And that's it. Beach mount, mid-90s, shot with a Canon F1N, 400 ISO, shot on manual, and another slice of time captured for the future generations to have a look at. Guys, send you love from Ireland. Thanks again for watching.